Hello, everybody, and welcome to our next Survivor Era 3 podcast. This one is going to be the top 10 players list. Every player that I've seen place Era 3 of Survivor, I ranked them all and came out with a top 10 list of which 10 players played the best this era from season 13 all the way to season 21. So, I'm Civ, and joining me here we got Rivals at Rampage Final Boot Angie, Season 20 champion EG, Season 2 champion Siren, as well as Season 20 Final Boot. And we're supposed to be getting Season 21 winner Will soon. Nick might join us, the Season 16 Final Boot. So, yeah. How are you three doing?
Good.
I'm good. I can't wait to talk about the top 10 lists that has been edited so much times, so many times.
Yep.
Spot 10 was heavily argued.
Yeah, the temp, especially the temp spot.
Come on.
What do you mean, come on?
Who argued? It was probably just you.
We argued the temp spot.
Yeah,
Okay.
Siren pretty much argued on his own.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So speaking of which, let's talk about our honorable mentions real quick because there's a few. Because 10 was heavily contested. At first, it was actually Johnny from season 17 who got 5th place, and then it was Dash from season 15 and season 21. He got 7th and 3rd place. A couple other people we argued for. I think it was Dill, the final boot of season 15, as well as Angie, the final boot of season 21.
Hi.
Yo.
Yeah. I think
unfortunately it's not about me today, so
no. Don't worry, we'll put you number 1 on top 10 Australian players of Survivor.
I thought that was Lachlan.
No.
Wow.
I thought that was Moonlight.
No.
Oh no. Don't.
Oh my god.
Don't do that, Sid.
So now let's check out our true top 10, which is Siren. Siren played season 20 final boot and played season 21 and was the first swap boot. Siren's main accomplishments of Era 3, he managed to accrue a ton of idols. Like, how many idols was it, Siren? 5, 6?
Pretty sure it was 7.
I was given 3 idols and I found 4.
So 7 altogether.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I also got like 10 extra votes or some shit. As well. Because the writers.
Yeah, EG gave you Raiders advantage.
Thank you, EG.
Boo! Fuck you!
This is the season 20 duo of the season, everyone.
No, we're the best duo. Obviously.
Yeah, so Siren had a lot of good gameplay in his season 20. And oh look, Will's here. Hi, Will.
Hello. Hey, Will.
We're on number 10, Siren, right now. The top 10 list is in the voice chat if you want to check it out.
All right. So wait, who are you guys on right now?
Siren.
Siren, okay. Give me 1 second to check that.
Sure. So Siren managed to outplay a lot of people, and people even gave him idols at the start. Xander gave him an idol. PS gave him an idol. Did PS give you 1 idol or 2 idols?
PS gave me 1 idol. Xander played an idol on me and then gave me an idol.
Yeah, okay. So, Siren has a lot of idols on his name, and Siren really, because a lot of the seasons we see that are really good Siren seasons, they're mainly like strategic based. Like season 5, that was like huge strategic gameplay from Siren. And season 20 was kind of like the proof that Siren can be more of like a social player in this like Survivor modern era. So yeah, a lot of this proved that Siren is not washed like season 12 tried to make us believe.
Well, this is what I'll state. I was washed in season 12, had to go on a spiritual trip. Coach took me and taught me how to slay a dragon, and then I came back, guys,
Wow.
obviously. And then season 21 made me look washed again, but we don't talk about that.
Well, season 21, you have a bit of an excuse because it's kind of like a swap through. Like, I know you were allied with like Nick. Like Nick was your close ally. You were kind of tight with him.
I had like Nick, Frago, Kalabe.
All those people on the other tribe. All those people.
Literally everyone on my tribe.
All of my allies got took into the other tribe, and I was just like, what the fuck? Come back.
So in that sense, season 21 isn't that bad of a drop for you, I think. It's kind of like the Sandra Game Changer season, I think.
I mean, the only reason I believe or at least I hold what I did in season 20 as so valuable is because I definitely had the biggest target in the entire cast. So the fact that I was made such a deep run is happy enough for me. Could have won 22. I could have been the first unanimous winner. Who knows?
You could have won 22?
Or 20. I could have won 20.
22.
He's hosting.
I must be tired. You know what, guys? I could have won 22. We're gonna rig that right now, okay? Can't wait for the final twist. I'll join y'all at the final third.
See, this is a Siren alt.
Yeah.
All right. So what's your guys' thoughts on Siren's gameplay for season 20 and 21?
I guess I'll start. Since I played with the guy, and I think I can offer some good opinion. So agreed on the whole biggest target coming into the season. We were on the same tribe. I noticed it straight away. Like even at the first tribal we went to, you had like JJ and Rami gunning for you pretty much right away. You know, being a former winner, being somebody who's pretty much synonymous with Survivor at this point. But yeah, I mean, I've played a lot of orgs, and I don't think I've had somebody put the fear of God in me the way that Siren did in season 20. Like, he kept finding the idols, he kept getting idols from other people, and the whole time it was just. We were a duo, but I was thinking, how do I get around this dude? Like, I gotta play with him because if I play against him, I'm gonna be cooked. That was pretty much what I thought. So, social game wise, he was really strong as well. You know, made good relationships with pretty much everyone. Was very good at getting people to not feel burned after they hadn't worked with him for a vote. And I think it's pretty much agreed that Siren, if he got to the end in season 20, he would have won against everybody. So the jury was in his favor as well. As far as 21 goes, he was just unlucky. I don't think there was a world in which Siren survived that swap, but I don't think he makes a ton of mistakes in 21. It's more just the bad luck of that swap. So overall, yeah, very strong era for Siren, and we hope to see you again.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm gonna retire, guys. Shake my hands. I'll
I think
retire.
I'll go next.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, Siren did have like I'd say the biggest target on his back coming into season 20. Like he's made like I think before Pierce, obviously, he made final tribal council flags, and well, he's like the most well-known player of Survivor history. And like, like when I joined Prod in season 12, Civ and I did comment a little on his social game and his reads on like the people he played with, and they were like pretty weak. I wouldn't say it was like super bad, but like they were weak, no offense. But yeah, it was fun to see his little evolution, his little glow up after that season. He got 7 idols, like he had great social standings with people, and it was so fun to see. Like it was one of my favorites in 20 to see. And it was just so wild. Like, how did people not clock that Siren is always gonna have an idol? But yeah, I think Siren either really had to like comp out in Final Four because like if he didn't like then he'd go, which he did. I think he would have won if he went, or even gone like a few votes if he went to Final Tribal Council. With season 21, I can't really say too much because I was never on a tribe with him, surprisingly. I thought that he was going to go a little more further. I thought people on like the red tribe would probably use him as like a shield or something. And I think I'm going to get more into that when we get to another player on said tribe. I think I was kind of shocked to see Siren go, given like I did not know how unlucky he was. I think when I was talking to my swap guys like DB and Frogger, we were kind of worried about Noisy and Moon because they were the only Era 2 players, but Siren was just so unlucky given how the swap turned out with having like a lot of season 18 people on that tribe. So yeah, well, I stand.
Yep, and I think I can kind of testify for his season 21 game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go
so
ahead.
I think the one thing that I remember about Siren, most of all, was I remember talking to him, and his strategy was just like, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was something, and I was like, this is never going to work. I don't know why he's trying this. And then I keep trying to like put out feelers to see if Siren is willing, if someone's willing to vote Siren. And everyone's like, no, I'm not willing to. And this was on the pre-swap. And at some point, I was like, how does he keep getting away with this? Why do people still want to work with this guy? And it was at that point that I kind of realized, like, oh man, well, this is like one of the best players in Survivor history. I should expect it as much. And I will say, he got very, very unlucky in season 21. So I don't hold that against him whatsoever. So I think Siren's just like an overall very good player. And I can't quite attest to his season 20 game, but 7 idols isn't something that you see every day.
No.
Yeah. All right, Siren, anything you want to say before we go to number 9?
Whenever I play another season, I can't wait to put the fear in God in someone else, apparently. I'm just that big of a final boss. I can't wait to get eliminated the first tribal this time. Everyone's gonna pull a JJ, That's probably season 20 is the best Siren run you'll probably ever get for the rest of my Survivor career, guys. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, that's it was a big run. I still remember 3 years ago when I first prodded you. It's crazy how we're still running it to this day. But
I mean, I'm kind of happy, like, to be, I guess, like, I don't think I'm the only, like, Era 1 player that still shows up and does well in the other eras, but, like, I think I'm the only OG of, like, Survivor who was there from the beginning, who
yeah.
keeps running the ropes. Luke was doing it for a bit. I wish Luke played more. Luke could have been that with me, but
All right, so we'll go to number 9, which is Billy from Survivor 7 Deadly Sins, season 19. Billy made it all the way to the top 5 before, unfortunately, getting voted out by, I'm pretty sure it was a unanimous vote, or a 3-2 vote. But
it
yeah.
was because Inju was immune.
Yeah, and you won immunity. So yeah, Billy had a very strong social game early on, and then he developed a very tight duo with Moonlight, which affected a lot of the whole season pretty much as he went on to, make some more allies during merge. But then when he lost his ally Watso, he started to play more of a, under the radar social play, which I do think worked for a while. Um, but eventually it did catch up to him, and he got booted. So, Will, you played with Billy. What were your takes on him?
So in a Survivor season, the social players are usually the ones that you bring to Final 8, Final 7, and then you cut them. And as soon as they get too big a threat, you just throw them out. And the one thing I noticed about Billy was that everyone knew he was a social threat. Everyone knew he was in a duo, and everyone knew he had some sort of advantage knowledge. And for some reason, no one would ever want to take a shot at him because everyone thought that this guy was just the greatest person ever. He was totally aligned with them, and it was just kind of shocking. And kind of like how EG said with Siren, I wanted to play with him rather than against him because if I was against him, I was gonna lose. It was I was only with him for the merge because during our swap tribe together, we didn't have any tribals. But during the first merge tribal in which I was about to go home, the one person that was directing the chaos, but yet no one had caught on, was Billy. He was the person who originally caused all the drama. He was the person who benefited the most from it, and yet after that, he was in the best position in the whole game. He had Rowan on his side, he had Cass on his side, he had Moonlight, Butter, he had me, and Whatso. I mean, this guy just had basically everything going for him. And if not for Inju, I think he would have complete and utter dominance of the entire game.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
Siren, what did you have on Billy? Since you were a pretty close prod in season 19.
yeah. This is what I'll say. If Inju did not win the Final Five comp, I think Billy, based on their comp ability, I don't think people would take Billy to the Final Three. I state that now. Billy's time was definitely like coming to an end once it was getting the Final Five. But that's kind of what happens to every good player eventually in Survivor. And the fact that Billy would have survived till Final Four if not for Inju, I feel like is the testament of how good of a game they played. They, I think the only player that ever really figured out Billy was Butter out of all players. I think, but then Butter kind of just folded because of Moonlight. And I guess it's like Billy's like trait. Even if you didn't like Billy directly, if you liked one of their allies, you wouldn't take a shot at Billy. And that's what made Billy such a good player, is because it's just difficult to take Billy out. Uh, Definitely one of the best fifth placers of Survivor history.
Yeah,
Would have definitely swept any FTC in that season against anyone, in my opinion.
yeah, I agree
So
with that.
they
All
don't
right,
really have any big moves. That's the one thing I'll say about Billy. They're super under the radar. They're
that
just a social player through and through.
there's
But
a
that's a
lot of people on like the top 10 list we see where they're mainly just like social players that did the social plays the best, like Toast from era 2. Like Toast doesn't have a ton of big moves on their name, but it was just the social aspect they did really well, and that's why they're on there. Billy is one of those players where, yes, there's not anything like there's nothing that's going to be looked back upon like the Survivor history books. He didn't like make an all-timer move or anything, but he did play a very good social game. It's kind of like the Sophie South Pacific game. Like, yes, it's not incredible gameplay, but it's gameplay that worked really well and gameplay that got perfected by that player. So,
exactly like one winner I think about when you say in Survivor who like is a very well attested winner but doesn't have a big move is like a Rabbi who
yeah.
was just super social and loved. And I do think like the top players of Survivor are more strategical than social, but the majority of the top 10 list, I would say, are social juggernauts instead of strategical juggernauts. That's not a bad thing, either.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Speaking of season 19, though, we also have our next season 19 player to talk about, which is Inju. Inju played Survivor. Excuse me. Inju played Survivor Halo and got third place, and then he went on to play Survivor Seven Deadly Sins and got final boot. So Inju's one of those players that I think is like the opposite of Billy in a lot of ways, whereas Billy was like this charming hero where everyone loved him, everyone thought that he was cool, or as Will said, even if you didn't like Billy, if you liked one of his allies, you weren't gonna vote him out. So I think Inju is kind of the opposite, where Inju is a lot more of like an oppositional player that you know is oppositional, but you can't, but Inju just keeps finding a way to get out of the bad situations. Inju in season 16, Inju had a very tight duo with another player we might be talking about. We don't know. He is. Uh, so Inju had a tight duo there, and then he went on to build up that duo into a trio with Taco. And then he lost an ally in Hansa at Merge, but after that, him, Pius, and Taco, the underdog trio, they went at it in season 16. They, dodged all types of elimination. And you did, okay, I do want to preface this first. Inju did technically get voted out in season 16, which I think is the one thing that's keeping Inju from going higher, because I do think Inju does have a lot of solid gameplay, but Inju did get voted out and won a returning comp. But, I mean, even then, Inju played a really good game, and he managed to just dodge every single elimination that was coming his way in season 16. Season 19, he kind of still played the same way. He was a person everyone knew that they should take out, but they just didn't. They just didn't. And Inju also had a lot better physical game there. And much like in season 16, he managed to keep a lot of his allies to the very end. He managed to keep with Dev and Saturn. Saturn, which was his ally, managed to win the whole game. So even if he didn't win, it's usually one of his very close allies that manages to win. So, what do you guys have on Inju?
I think I can kind of attest to a season 16 game a little, because that was the one I was like the one I was like actively voting on, even though I was sick at the beginning. So yeah, Inju was like he was like a lot of the time he was like a top notch like edgy contender from what I
Yeah.
remember as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
he had like that really tight duoship with Pierce, and you know, with tight duoships that like takes you very, very far at times. But yeah, I think his biggest hiccup within his game was actually the early merge portion. So I think there was some questionable decisions within the Hansa boot, and then well, yeah, he got voted out within Planet Exile, and then he beat Luke in a returnee comp. So I think that was like the thing that just like sort of brought it down. And yeah, I guess it made him have like 0 votes in the end, like his FTC and stuff. But yeah, I think the finalists within season 16 were pretty good, and Inju is no exception to that. So yeah.
I think I can give some context to his season 19 game. I think, despite them having very different normal playstyles, I feel like him and Billy kind of played very similarly in the fact, but just on opposite sides. But the one thing I will say about Inju that Billy did not have is Inju created probably the strongest alliance I've ever seen in my entire life. It was Saturn, him, and Khan were literally unbreakable, and with Dev on their side and with me on their side for the early merge, they were going to be unstoppable. And even if they lost a number, Angie was always going far in that season, no matter what. He was basically the most secure person at all times. Coupled with the fact that he had a bunch of wins under his belt, he could win a competition, especially at the final 5, in which he saved his own butt. And like you said, Civ, he got his ally to the end and won. And if he would have won the final 4 immunity, I think it's very likely he wins that jury, might even sweep it.
What a turn of events. It's like
Yeah.
Moon. Yeah.
Yeah,
I forgot to mention within season 16, and I guess we'll sort of touch on it with the other player. Civ and I sort of compared the duoship with Shane and Sean from Champions versus Contenders, like at the very end of season 16, and Inju was the Sean, if you get what I mean.
Yeah. Like, PS was like this very, like, more socially reputable player, where Inju was the more, strategically reputable player that just would not make an FTC to save his life in season 16.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if that would have changed in season 19, but I do think Inju does win season 19 in theory if he makes FTC. So,
I mean, the thing about for me, and this is kind of how I view the Billy versus like Inju comparison, because I do see them as like the leaders of the two sides of season 19. Billy is a leader through charisma, and Inju is a leader through power.
yeah.
Couldn't have said it better.
You don't take out Billy because you like Billy. You don't take out Inju because he has made it very clear that if you take out Inju, that your entire game is fucked.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to say. I think Inju was the strategical player of 19. Billy was the social king, and Inju was the strategical player. Because I think it was Final 7 where. Did you get voted out Final 7, Will? Am I
did
saying this
indeed.
right?
Yep.
Yeah. That was like Inju. Or that was Devs, actually. That was like the masterpiece of the season, was taking out Will. Realistically, that trio should have failed, and it didn't, and it's spectacular.
Yep.
Like they technically lost the battle at the end of the day because only one made it to FT. Saturn was from that trio, and they won. So honestly,
They won the war.
They won the war, yeah.
Yeah. Props to Inju.
Yeah. All right. So if that's all on Inju, let's go to one of the most confusing Survivor characters of all time, and I think we all can attest to that. We now have Morgan from Era 3, who played season 13, 15, and 20. Got 4th place, 7th place, and 8th place. Also one of our only rockout victims of Survivor, along with Josh and Corny. So, a big thing about Morgan is that if you told me to line up everyone in the top 10 and tell me which player I think would make merge 10 times out of 10 times, I'd tell you Morgan, because
Yeah.
Morgan is one of those players that's always socially viable enough to make merge, but also strategic enough to, downplay his skills a little bit. Morgan is a very solid social player. Season 13, he did really good. Managed to, work hard with, Dev and Mick and make it deep to the end. Unfortunately, he did lose fire making, but I mean, season 13, he was a fair validation shot to win season 13.
Who is Morgan up against with fire? Do you remember?
Mick. If he wins, it's him versus Connor versus Dev.
I'll be 100% real. I think Morgan. No disrespect to Connor when I say this. I think Morgan would have swept that jury. I'll be real. I think Morgan's just that likable. I may be wrong. I think Morgan at least wins. Because
it's a small jury, too.
It's a small jury.
5 jurors.
I
Why
think
was
Morgan.
this 5 yours?
Season 13, weird as shit. We had 2 walks and merge.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's rough.
uh,
So, but then season 15 is Morgan's big like redemption season. Morgan had a couple like very funny moments in his past few seasons that kind of come into big memes like season 9 final 4 where he just shared everyone his FTC speech. um so yeah, season 15 was his big like redemption arc, and he did really good. He had a very great social game pre-merge, and then merge he kind of lost a battle against Bob Ross, which did put him on the outs for a bit, but he did manage to come back, get some more allies. Managed to get a tight final 2 with Dash, but unfortunately it didn't work out so well because there was a ton of advantages in season 15, and we managed to have a rock draw at the final 7 somehow. So, yeah, a lot of big moments that came up to Morgan getting rocked out, but it's between him, Vintage, and Luke, and I feel like if he wins the rock out, he probably does win the season because I mean, let's say it's him, Bob Ross gets voted out next, then it's like Dash. I don't think he keeps Dash to the end, but Morgan can correct us if I'm wrong. If it's like a him versus Sparky versus Vintage or Luke, I think Morgan wins that.
Oh yeah, agreed.
So, I mean, I know a lot of like asterisk stuff. It's hard. It's like a slippery slope to go down. Oh, like what if this didn't happen, or what if that went kind of differently? But I mean, it is a rock draw, so it's kind of a different situation. Like it's actually random, so there's more of like an argument there. Um. So yeah, and then Morgan played season 20, where he got booted out 8th place. He still had a pretty good social game. He did have a person he hated so much. You know,
And that
shout out.
became his new meme.
Yeah. Morgan, fun fact, Morgan became the first person to ever receive a custom Edgic score from me, an MORGN5.
The Morgan
Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were like, Steve and I were watching that thing, and we were like, this needs to be like studied, this needs to be researched. Like, we were so invested. So yeah, Morgan got a new Edgic.
He hated him so much, dude. And so Morgan did have a tight duo with James, which is a pretty important duo. That's kind of like the Siren versus EG opposition duo. So Morgan does pretty good, gets voted out at Final 8. So what's your guys' thoughts on Morgan's gameplay for those 3 seasons?
I think I'll start because you want to I'll start because well his first season was the one I played with in him, and socially I think other than like me and I guess Steven, he wasn't that great with people from what I've heard. But I think like because like I think we had a trio, right? And well, he was sort of like the third wheel of it. But I think watching Morgan evolve was like watching like a life cycle of like something like a butterfly or like a frog or something. Where he just evolves and he just glows up. I think with season 13, like he does just that. And he was very likable on that season. He got fought like for a third time, and we all thought within season 15 that he'd probably get it a fourth time at this point until the rock draw. But like I think Morgan's most loved season was definitely 15. The fans finally started to like come through to him. The prod seems to love him a lot. Like he had great relationships with like DB and Dash. I think that like really had him going, but he had to be like the opposition of like Bob Ross. And yeah, I think they were kind of cooked by like what final 10, final 9, because well, season 15 was very goofy, early merge times. So yeah, but unfortunately he was very unlucky with the rock draw. I wish it was vintage, not gonna lie. But yeah, I think within a fair few scenarios, if he takes like Bob Ross and maybe Dash out, then he'd probably win Final Tribal if he did make it and not get fourth for a fourth time. And then yeah, season 20, he memed once again, like he is in almost every other season he's played in, but like he had that really great duoship with James. I loved seeing how great socially he was again. And yeah, I think he just got like very unlucky with season 20 as well. Especially when like given that EG had that Keys story where you could have saved him but like couldn't. Yeah.
Well, as far as season 20 goes, what I can say about Morgan is, he was truly at the peak of his likable era, I guess. And
Yeah.
he was at the end of completing that sort of comeback from being not a villain necessarily, but just getting more beloved within the community. And he was really good at getting to know people. He was really good at the social game.
Yes.
Like the more casual part of the social game, not necessarily turning it into strategic leverage, but just getting to know people on a personal level. That's what I found Morgan was really good at. And yeah, his consistency is ridiculous. The fact that he's played 5 times and is always in that sort of top 6, top 7 range. 8 I think is his worst placement. Is season 20 his worst placement?
Yeah, it
I mean,
is.
that's ridiculous. That's such a consistent player. He's kind of like the Shawnee of Survivor in a way. The only thing that's missing is that win. And yeah, I do think Morgan, just for having 3 seasons where he made a deep run, deserves his spot in the top 10. And yeah, he was unlucky with the keys. He was unlucky with the keys. He doesn't win season 20 though, to be fair. Like, even if
Nah.
he survives final 8, I think people had clocked into Morgan as a threat. And he wasn't gonna survive that many tribals, especially because Siren didn't want to work with the guy and he had all the idols. So
I remember the voice memo. I remember it so much.
Best case scenario for Morgan is he would have been idled out at some point by the fear of God.
Yep. All right.
But he had a really good run.
What's up, Siren?
This is what I'll say about season 20 Morgan. Part of the reason they that I wanted to target them at the final 10 was because, and this is always how I felt about Morgan in season 20. They're such a good player that if they're on your side, you don't really have an issue with Morgan, because Morgan is so likable. That's like their strength. But I guess that's like the one thing I'll talk about Morgan in 20 is like they just accidentally ticked off the wrong person who was immortal every round except for one. Because like, yeah, I don't think Morgan. I think it's unfair to judge Morgan for season 20 because I don't think any player other than like EG or Pius, like a small time player like Doug or something, makes it to Final Four because I'm immune every round. It's an unfair playing environment.
Yeah, we shouldn't judge people on season 20 because there was too much Siren in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't even season 20, it was just the Siren show.
Look, okay. I definitely didn't get led to the idols by Civ so that it would be the best season of Era 3. What are you talking about? This wasn't planned.
You know what's funny? I think Josh made most of those idol hunts.
And I paid him $4 for it.
True.
Wow.
True.
Well, Survivor rigged confirmed.
No.
What a kind soul Josh is.
I mean,
All right.
The one thing I'll say about Morgan, this will always be my belief. Morgan is the best player of Survivor history that's played multiple times to not make FTC.
Yeah, I'd probably agree there.
They've either gotten fourth boot 3 times, I believe. Been rocked
Yeah.
out. They've only had one normal vote out in their entire Survivor career, and it's at 8th place.
Which is known to be like the insane round of every org.
Yeah, so like honestly, if there was a Mount Rushmore for non-winners of Survivor, and I only include people that played multiple times on that one for me, because it's just fair to judge, I would have Morgan at 2nd place.
That's fair.
Wait, who's
Yeah.
first?
Actually, my first is Peppers. It's always going to be Peppers, in my opinion.
That's fair.
Then
I
it would
can
be
see that.
Angie. Then it would be Morgan, and then Max is 4th from season 11 and 12.
That's fair. All right,
But
so let's move on to our first winner that we'll be talking about, which is it's the guy on our call right now. We got Will, the season 21 champion of Survivor. Will started out as a pre-merge boot of Survivor season 16, which not because of any unfair twist that didn't get him voted out at all. I don't know what you're talking about. Then he went on to play season 19, where he managed to do pretty solid. Managed to make it all the way to 7 before getting flipped on by Dev. And then season 21, we saw him win it all. Managed to make it all the way to the end and win it by a pretty convincing margin, a 6-2-1. So yeah, Will, do you want to have the floor to start off?
Yeah, I'll start off with season 16 and say that was probably one of the most fun pre-merges I've ever played in my life. Even though I didn't make it out, but it was just round after round after round of just some BS because, well, actually, let me go through it. Right, I guess we're on a podcast, might as well talk about it. So, first round, Vic is inactive. I make an alliance with Vic, DJ, Andrew, and myself, with just 4 out of 8. Vic becomes inactive, so we have to vote him out. The next round, DJ abandons us, so it's just me and Andrew. And Andrew's offline, so I can't give him an idol to play. So he gets voted out. And then the next 2 rounds, I have to idle. And then the round I end up going, we actually win a challenge. The only time in the entire game we had, which ended up being a downside, because Jane joined our tribe, started the challenge without us knowing, and then left. So we were doomed from the start. And then I get voted out. And then the next season, I didn't really do anything interesting until Final 8, in which I probably made the worst move of my org career in voting out Khan, which immediately led to my own vote out. And then, yeah, season 21, in which I actually played all right. My Survivor journey has been an upward trend. And so in that game, I kind of focused more on the strategic game more than the social game. I wasn't really good at challenges, but I knew that the only way I was going to win was by positioning myself so that I wouldn't get taken out. Because I don't have the social game some of these players have, and I can't win out. So I focused mainly on getting the right people out so that when the game gets further down the line, I don't have to worry about people saying, hey, he's not as likable as, like a Steven or an Angie or a Dash. Let's take him out. Because my focus was on making sure that wasn't even an option. And so eventually I get to Final Tribal Council. It's kind of a social game of Zach's versus my strategic game. And I pull out the win. And that's my Survivor trajectory. 2 flukes and then 1 win.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. I think your season 19 game is still solid. I mean, obviously, I kind of credit. I don't take like the shit posting thing like too serious. But I still think you played solid overall. And I think the big thing about season 16 is kind of like a null season for you because I mean the twist was bullshit, and I will take it on the chin and say that was a dumb idea from me. It worked better in Australian Survivor. I'll say that much.
It did.
But yeah, I think the whole thing. I think Will played a pretty good season in season 21. And I mean, you made the move against Steven in Final Six is like crazy. Like Siren talked about how like Seven Idols is like a top 5 move in Survivor of all time, and I do agree with that. And I also think the move on Steven to vote Moon at the Final Six is up there too. It's just a really good move, especially for Steven, who like on early merge we were all calling out as like going to be the easy win pick. Everyone thought Steven was gonna win, and then Steven just kept making dumb move after dumb move.
It was just weird. Like this is what I'll say about 21 as someone that actually like played with Will. And I'm sure Angie will have these takes as well.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I think I have different takes. Will played a much better game in the second half of 20 than the first. And I honestly think if you only looked at the second half, it would be like a S tier game of Survivor. Will's merge game is one of the weirdest things to watch, but it works. People just kind of let Will walk to the end. Despite the fact that we're clearly doing some good moves, and I gotta applaud it. I feel like Will's definitely a strategical player. I'll say that right now. Will is heavily leaning on strategical to make it through. And I think Will got the perfect FTC to win in 21.
Yeah.
I think beat Steven, by the way. I'll state that. If Will faced Steven at FTC, I think Will would beat Steven. I don't think anyone in that cast beats Angie or Moon except for Angie or Moon. So getting them out when you did the best move.
Yeah, my philosophy on the game is you don't have to play the best game, you just have to play the best game of the people at Final Tribal. And that was kind of what I did. Because I knew that I was never going to beat... I kind of disagree with you. I don't think I beat Steven just because he's so much more likable than I. And if I don't
I
end up
mean,
pulling... Sorry, you?
I was gonna say, because like I think for me, it was less about. I mean, it was sort of about like mine and Steven's legacy as like people who made Final Trouble together and were rivals and then became like besties, but also because like I even like told like people like Zach and stuff like it could be easy to pitch it against Steven because Steven had like a really, really, really weird move at Final 8, and then there was the whole Final 6 thing, I think. And then just him doing like public fighting and stuff or whatever at Tribal Council. I think that's enough to like convince someone to like not vote Steven and go for you instead. So yeah. And like I even said to people that I could probably like pitch against his swap game because his swap game wasn't really that great from what I know. So yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
the
that's
whole
fair. I think...
the whole jury
Sorry,
was
you?
ready to jump Steven after the final 6. The jury was not going to let Steven win. I think Civ can confirm that. After Final 6, Steven's
Yeah.
game like crashed into the Sunder. There was
Yeah,
no
I'm pretty sure.
recovery.
I'm pretty sure that Jay after Final Six was like, well, it became less of like Angie and Steven as the top contenders, and it was Angie and Will as the top contenders. Because
Yeah.
I know, because I saw people like Noisy and Bob Ross commenting in the Ponderosa, and they were like, I don't know what Steven's talking about. It's clearly Angie versus Will as the top contenders.
Yeah, I mean, I think I performed pretty well in Final Tribal Council. I have the three things that I'm good at are thinking on my feet, um, laying low and having a perception of someone who doesn't know what they're doing, and being able to argue at Final Tribal Council. I think those are the three things. I wish I could be a better social player, and it's my favorite part of the game, and it's just a shame that it couldn't work out. But I think I played an alright game. Although I would agree with Siren that my game got better as it progressed. Because the first half of my game was pretty mid, which I will admit.
Yeah. Like, how do I say this? If it wasn't for the big characters on the Red Tribe, I could have seen you as an early exit in 21.
Yep.
But which we'll be
I
talking
wish
about
I
one of those big players eventually on this list. Stay
Yeah.
tuned.
we will.
But,
We will.
but I mean, yeah, I judge Will based off 19 and 21. Will didn't even lose 19 because of anything they did, in my opinion. Khan was going to strike out anyway. Voting them out means nothing. They would have struck out anyway. It's just the truth.
On is
You know
Imagine
what?
if he striked out twice.
You
Oh,
know,
man.
maybe if he striked out, Civ wouldn't have made such a horrible casting pick, everyone.
If Khan struck
If
out, I
Khan
don't
struck
think there
out,
would have
if
been an
I
alt
don't think there would have
rival.
been Will and Rivals or Rampage.
Yeah,
So
Oh,
I
literally.
think we have an entirely different
wait. So
winner.
best move of all time is actually me voting out Khan so that I can get on this
Yeah,
season
your best
and
move is
really
voting
no
out Khan.
Burning out Khan so you could get in the
Another
season, and then we get Showergate.
I'm like 7 steps ahead. Yeah, without me, there's no Showergate, you guys.
I mean,
Fucking shower.
I'll
Mm.
Dude.
mean, yeah, I feel like that's all you can say about Will. Just,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna add on because I was a juror, in the final boot.
yeah, you.
I think especially there was, other than Noisy and Bob Ross, who were kind of critical with like the people who were left in the game, I think the other three that were very, very critical were the final three boots in Moon, Steven, and myself. I think we were like, we kind of just like analyzed all your social games. We're like, yeah, they're kind of like not that social with us. So, and we were kind of like the social like butterflies of that time. So, we like I think all our votes were pretty up in the air as far as I remember. At least from the three of us. But yeah, I think we all thought that like Will had like a really great like he articulated his game very, very, very well. So like even though he had like a really good strategy, like he somehow got his dream final A, which is crazy. But yeah, we kind of just like sort of like like so yeah. And he actually tried to recall my stuff better than Dash, who I worked with the most out of all three of them, which is crazy. But like Zach had a very, very, very good social game. Like I think Zach and I got along like very personally. Personally, how do you say that word? But yeah, in the end, I think I voted for the better gameplay of the two. But like it was a very tight race between the two of them. And eventually Will came in clutch and he wasn't just a goat in everyone's minds after all. So yeah. Well deserved win. Well deserved $200.
I will
Good
say
game.
before we move on, I've so
She
I
got
remember
50 times Josh's money.
yeah, I'm stealing it. But I will say a question, Angie. When I was before it was the final three, were
Mm.
people voting me out of was I the favorite, or did people not really realize
I
at that point?
think I did see some lists. I think who was the one who I think it might have been Noisy's lists. Like when I was scrolling up upon the roast, I was like looking at all the lists. And I think Noisy was the one that had you on top or something. I don't know. But
Right.
I know that Zach was Bob Ross's boy since like the beginning. So kind of figured that's where like things were going with him. And then I think DB was sort of on the same page as well. I think, well, he kind of burned his bridge. So, like, yeah. I didn't expect him to vote Dash, if anything. But yeah, I think a lot of people were leaning Zach. I don't know about Moon, though, because, like, they had, like, this whole thing going on. But yeah, we were kind of thinking of Zach. But I think you were sort of in consideration. I don't think anyone was really considering Dash, in all honesty. I think it was sort of between you two within the Pondy group. So, yeah.
All right. Well, if my thing is done, I will probably leave the call. I gotta go dry. But I will say, I genuinely thought Dash was like the front runner to win because I was always gonna bring him to the end, and I was like, people are gonna vote Dash, and then we get to Final Tribal, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it was just
Oh.
that he just got easily baited. He was a bit messy. He was just a bit, I think his personality kind of rubbed people the wrong way at times, like some things he said and everything. So I think, and there was some areas within his speech as well. So I was like, I don't think I'm going to vote Dash, at least. And I know that like he's pissed a few people off, like Noisy and stuff. So yeah, I think that's where things were leading onto.
All right. Well, thank you guys for inviting me to this podcast.
Yeah, of course, man.
Yep.
I do connect that.
I will see you guys. I don't know. I'll see you guys at Winners at War, I guess.
True.
You will.
All right.
Except me.
Angie, you gotta win. I'll rig it for
I
you.
know.
I promise.
I'd love to work with you.
Yes. As pre-gaming, Siren, you're in on this.
And Siren, of course. Siren's also here.
You know what?
All right.
Good. I'd beat all of you at FTC. I'm in. I'd beat you all in a comp at the end. Let's
Oh
do it.
no! I dashed out the same thing.
You're not gonna beat Pius, though.
Ooh. Ooh.
You know what? Let's look on the
Dang.
bright
Oh.
side. I at
Let's
least,
go.
look at the bright side. I at least got votes in both of my FTCs when I made it to FTC.
That's
I don't
true.
see
You
Pius
did.
Yeah,
doing
what?
that. Or Pius. I gotta
All right,
remember that.
guys.
I will.
Next player on the docket, we got our season 18 winner, Preston, who won season 18 The Simpsons and also played Rivals at Rampage, where he got 20th, 21st.
It was
You
like
got like
20.
19. Josh got 20th.
Oh,
Yeah, you
19th. 19th. Okay.
What
I keep thinking Rivals at Rampage is like a 24-person season. It's a
It's 22
22.
people.
Yeah.
Nah, who would do a 24-person season?
Well, it's funny. I did a 24-person season for season 16, and it was pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Anyways, Preston.
So he's just copying your best ideas.
True. Preston is our first top 5 player of this season of the era. And so Preston, as a player in season 18, played incredibly well. And I'll say this much. I had my doubts about Preston as a player in season 18. Because I think I ran Edgic full time in season 18.
Yeah, you
And
did.
I think it was like Wendy I kept having as a top contender, and maybe like 13 or someone as like.
Yeah, I remember it because like I was the one saying like, "What about Preston 13?" And you were like, "No."
Yeah. And so because theoretically Preston should not have done the things he was able to
No,
do. I
you
mean,
should have. Preston in 18 is the best winner for a reason. The things they do are unexplainable. Like, we need to do a Preston season 18 story video one day, honestly. it deserves that much coverage because you can't.
And Preston is one of the well, he did win immunity, but he didn't like it. It was like the social capital immunity game.
You're
So
gonna be voted
realistic,
off.
so
Yeah.
realistically, he didn't really ever win an immunity. And so Preston made it all the way to the end without ever needing immunity. He look at it this way. He didn't need immunity at the final three, yet he was the front runner to win. That is
Yeah.
crazy stuff. Like Preston, and even in Final Four, and that's what's important. He has so many like interchangeable duos. You see many players with like this strong power duo, like Siren and EG, Inju and Pius, Billy and Moonlight. But Preston had so much duos. Now they weren't as strong as something like a Siren EG, but Preston had those duos and kept strong of them. Like Preston and Andrew. Preston and Andrew went on for the entirety of Merge, and Preston never got Andrew out of his back pocket the whole season.
Yeah.
And that came to play when Andrew went on the immunity run. He won all those immunities in Final Four and Final Three, and yet Andrew never wrote Preston's name down. Even at the final three, Andrew was like, "Yeah, I don't think I can vote Preston's name down."
I will say this, and this is gonna be my statement. The only knack I can put, there's only two things I can talk about in season 18's Preston game that are the only two like errors I can put is A, they needed 13 to win fire to make final three. If 13 loses fire, Andrew does not take Preston to the end. So it did require the fire making. And then second of all, Cooper scammed Preston like 2 times that merge, if I remember, which is why you had Cooper and Wendy so ahead.
Yeah.
Like, but it's still the best game of Survivor history by like a mile.
And I
The
want to make
only
it
game.
I want to make it clear, like Preston season 18 is S plus, but I don't think any game is flawless. I don't think there's a perfect winner ever. Like even like perfect winners, like by definition, are not perfect in gameplay. Um, so I think, yeah, Preston's an S plus winner, and that doesn't mean he's without flaws, obviously. I think Preston just had such a great turnaround after the early merge. Like
Yeah.
a lot of players who have this like and this is on Wendy and Cooper, I think, because you're right. Wendy and Cooper did have Preston's number, but they fumbled it.
Yeah,
Because
they
Wendy and
fumbled it.
Cooper had the numbers. They blindsided Zach. They got rid of Ty and Joseph. They had, if they pulled in Brendan and Leah, they could have made a full run of it, but they didn't. And Preston took advantage of that. Preston's the type of player that, waits for that move. And, he made it and he did a good job making it.
Yep. I don't think it is what people want to talk about on this podcast, so sadly. I think there's the
Yeah.
other one. Oh boy.
So if I were to rank only Preston season 18 game, like he's one for sure. I
He's
don't think
definitely one.
I don't think that's disputable. But then I invited Preston play season 21 and it didn't go as well. Preston got eliminated pretty early. Now, people are probably going to argue that it could have been metagaming. I do think there is a small argument that people voted Preston out of like, name reputability. I do think there is at least some bit of that, but I think everyone just had much better social connections with each
I
other. Like,
don't even think it's that. As someone that was on that tribe, I think I can state at best, Preston had control of that tribe, like fully. I believe that, from my point of view. Preston and Nick were like the top dogs of the tribe. And Then Preston just kind of ran into a wall. Is the best way to describe it. You know, they kind of overplayed. That's Preston's game in 21, in my opinion. They overplayed because they were so paranoid.
Yeah.
They have such a big target on their back that, and I feel like this is the Siren advice to all the big players, because I've done it so many times. Having a big target necessarily isn't a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
It's not.
You can use that to be a shield, like in season 20 pre-merge for me. I could have easily been eliminated any pre-merge round after the swap. You know, you don't do that because, like, you show people that you trust them. I do think there's some metagaming. I will admit that. Preston going over 13 is insane, but I don't know if you remember this, Civ, but part of it is because Preston had that argument with me after the corny tribal.
Right.
Where this is why you don't talk so much about there being arrow lines. That's my opinion on Preston.
Yeah.
This is why we should do a Siren vs Preston captain season.
True.
I mean, I don't think it can be metagaming in
He's
my
lost for
opinion.
words.
It sucks. It's just it's baffling to talk about is kind of my thing about Preston's 21 game. It is so different from their season 18 game. It feels like a different person. I can't
which is kind of ironic considering some drama going on.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, this will be my statement till the end of time. Preston just kind of overplayed. I don't think it was metagaming because I do think people would have just voted out 13 if Preston was more reasonable, or even like Spin.
Yeah, I
Was
thought
on
people on the spin train. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, like the issue was that Preston was going up to people like Kalabe who were from Era 2 and asking them, is Era 2 an alliance? That's not what you do, guys. Walk up to the
That's so
enemy.
dumb.
Are you an alliance? But yeah, I feel like that's what I'll say about.
I think I'm gonna add on. I didn't play with Preston. I didn't even get to meet him because he was obviously a pre-swap boot. He was on the Reds. I was on the Blues. I was a little shocked that he got out very early. Because I thought it would be smart to use Preston. I was like, my thoughts were like, it would be smart to use 3 people on that Red tribe as a shield. Siren, Nick, and Preston. And Preston was like the biggest name coming into this as like an S plus winner, like the best winner in Survivor history. So I thought he could have utilized that shield thing more. From what I've read, he was a bit paranoid about the people on our blue tribe, like Zach, Cooper, Wendy, like people who he had a hand of like voting out within season 18, and he was like so afraid that like his past like sins and stuff were gonna come back to haunt him. And I think that was just the wrong way to go about it. And it was just like him and 13 versus the rest of the world at that point. Yeah. But yeah, I was talking to like the swap guys, like Nick, Spin, surprisingly, Kalabe, Steven, and then Froggo, who brought up something interesting to me, that Spin was going to be the boot if Preston didn't do all that shit he did. Like, yeah, but like the lore behind all this was so crazy. But yeah.
Yeah, it was like weird.
I think
like
I think if he made it further and he played a little better, like he played his hand better, I think he would have made it like more, like a few more notches up in this top 10 list as well.
Yeah, because like you talk about like the shields, like Preston wouldn't even work with me. We were the only 2 winners on our tribe, and Preston was dead set on me being their enemy. Like that's not Survivor 1-on-1. If there's 2 winners, you're stuck together. You're the biggest target.
Literally.
If anything, I was a bigger target than Preston. They should have hid behind me.
The rule is if there are two winners, give the other winner an idol.
Exactly, guys.
Yes.
I think that's how I convinced them, by the way. I was like, we're the two winners. Once they take me out, they'll take you out. Speaking of that, that's a perfect segue.
Yeah, now we got Bob Ross next up. We got
That is a really good segue because Bob Ross was my shield.
Bob Ross, the guy who won season 15, made it all the way to the end, won by a very convincing 7-1-0 vote. Very convincing vote. Yeah, Vintage never tied for second, guys. Never happened. Luke got second.
Great. Good.
Yeah.
Listen to me, okay? Who's Vintage? That never happened. It was a final two.
No one from Mexico ever played Survivor, guys. Also, anyways, Bob Ross is a part of the Bakers tribe of season 15. Now, if you were prod during season 15, you have three takeaways from pre-merge of season 15. One, the Morgan and DB duo is goated. Two, the Stars tribe is fucking horrendous. And three, what kind of drug was put into the Bakers tribe? Because everyone's name was thrown out on Baker's tribe. Everyone's. Like Bob Ross, Luke, Nick, Groot, Sparky, Dill. Everyone was up for grabs. I think the only one who wasn't like a name thrown out, ironically, was Akio. And so Bob Ross had a lot of, maneuvering to go when swap hit. And I think he did a good job. He did lose an ally in Nick, but he managed to come back from it in a really good way. He managed to get a tight duo with Luke, a tight duo with that guy. Oh, and come merge, he managed to beat Groot in that 1v1, and he gave us that incredible copy pasta that will forever be used. And so
And has basically become Groot's whole personality by now.
it has. It was all game. No, Bob Ross played really good in season 15. Just a lot of great socializing and a good social win. Now in season 21, I don't know what happened.
Talk about season 21. I'm pull a Bob Ross and say no comment, like how he got spin out of the game by doing nothing.
So I'm going to. So I don't think Bob Ross's season 21 is necessarily bad. I'd say there's a lot of things he has good ideas about. I think he's just too obvious with them, is the best way to go about it. Like, I don't think anyone, because Bob Ross does mention how great of a move he made getting it spin out by taking a strike. And so many people from the other tribe, when they merged, were like, yeah, I'm pretty sure Bob just did that on purpose. Like, no one believed him. No one bought his story.
The issue with Bob Ross in 21, and I state this as like a fairness to Bob Ross, is he has what is called new winner-itis, where you can try all these fancy moves and everyone's gonna figure it out because it's you. If it was like,
oh no,
have fun with that one, buddy. You
oh
stuck.
no, I gotta be quiet now. I can't do any Conan bullshit now.
I mean, it's like genuinely how it felt watching like Bob Ross in the merge of 21. Bob Ross is trying, and everyone's just yeah, sure. Anyways, they
Yeah. Angie, since you played with Bob Ross season 21,
Yeah.
for better or for
Sorry.
worse, do you want to give us your take on him?
So yeah, I think with Bob Ross, so I played with him from the very start, which was Final 22, all the way to when he got booted out at Final 9. So yeah, I will say what I want to say on that. I don't think a lot of people were thinking about shields. I think like in the Red Tribe with like Preston, I think people didn't really think of Bob Ross as a shield, but like Bob was thinking about like the Winners Alliance and all that. But yeah, I think he had like a good social standing within Final 22. Like he didn't do well in the challenge and he was a little inactive, but I think he did better than Kibo. And I don't think I was thinking of voting off Bob Ross because he was a part of my like long-term strategy. So yeah, and he managed to maneuver that like really well with his own social game. So yeah, it became a 10-1 rather than a rather like I don't know, maybe a somewhat split vote within the very first tribal, but yeah. And then Bob's name came up again within the Cooper tribal, but he made like a really, really good pitch to DB, even though DB was not his biggest fan. But yeah, it was a very last minute pitch, so it seemed like yeah, every like the five of us, which is the entire Jaguar Alliance plus Zach, seemed to have gone on Cooper. So yeah, and then I get swapped with him after narrowly saving him again. So yeah, we voted out one of his best friends in Survivor being Nick, which because like they knew that Bob was like kind of on the bottom. Like even though we were like a quiet, chill tribe by the Cooper tribal, they sort of knew that we kind of saved Bob Ross's ass within like two tribals, so they got him on side, and then he made this alliance with us. So yeah, I think Bob was in like that very prime position alongside Frogo at the time, at the Nick boot. But yeah, we ended up getting away, and then everything went to shit, at least for me and DB, at the next tribal. So yeah, when Bob, I guess again, Bob was sort of the deciding vote. So yeah, Bob was in a really neat position within the swap tribe. So yeah, he was playing the middle. It was like the Reds against like the Blues plus Froggo, I guess, within I'd say like final 14ish. And then yeah, so and then I think he tried to like get Nick and Froggo out just to like make us all bond together as a five and unanimously get spin out. Which didn't really work because like, well, they sort of just we kind of just got rid of each other's like I got rid of some like their shields and they got rid of my close allies. So and I guess Bob chose to do the strike vote, which no one would have predicted. I think he could have gotten out if like DB and I had like more power or something like that, or like the Reds we would wanted to work against him because I held that idol. So like if anyone could predict the strike vote, I think Bob Frost could have went at 13. But yeah. Then merge comes. I think it wasn't too much about merge I can comment on. I know there was a whole thing with like he voted Moon that one time. He really wanted Moon out, even though I think his was better for him to stick with Moon because well, big names and all that. And I even told him that like post season. And then yeah, with in final 10, I think things got heated between him and 13. There was a lot of like stuff about the whole moon vote at the noisy tribal. But yeah, and then yeah, DB was starting to suggest Bob Ross as a name within the final 10. So we were thinking like Bob Ross or Will at that point with like between me, DB, and like Steven. And I guess a little bit of Moon, so like the season 12s. So yeah, and then 13 unanimously goes out. Then yeah, we all start to target Bob Ross because everyone knows he's playing the middle, and I think everyone was like very convinced except for Zach. Well, Zach knew, but like I think that was his biggest fumble to stick with Bob Ross rather than the rest of us because yeah, a split vote was initiated in case of something wild happening within the tribal. But yeah, Bob Ross, I think everything just came back to bite him. He thought his season 15 strategy worked, but he went to like Tim, DB, and I went to the most pre-merge tribals. Like I think it was like 6 pre-merge tribals. So yeah, it didn't really pay off in the long run. But I don't think he necessarily played a bad game whatsoever.
That's fair. Siren, do you got anything you want to say about Bob before we go to our top 3?
You know, his season 21 is just a happy accident. He's going to come back and be the first winner to win the Survivor format twice. Rosswick. I mean, he's a consistent winner. Like, is it weird that I kind of feel like Bob Ross had like not as bad as a Siren arc for season 21 in terms of like season 12, but just more of a oh, okay, you've ran out of steam. You come back next time.
Yeah, I
I
agree on that because
yeah,
he was good socially.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those runs where like you have a really good run to start, then you have a kind of mid run second. So third is kind of like the deciding one. So we'll see how Bob is in his third game whenever that happens.
21 is just a weird season for me because unlike 12, that was the exact opposite where I feel like people wanted shields, and 21 people are like, where's shields? Get rid of all the big targets.
Shields, bro. I wanted shields.
You should have been on my tribe then. We would have gotten along. I needed allies. Anyways, number 3, a player that I have comments about.
Should have evenly divided your allies across the 2 seasons instead of having 7 allies in season 20 that all gave you idols.
Before we do the top
Should have
3,
saved some allies for 21.
before we
Okay.
do the top 3, I want to make a small announcement that I'm going to be announcing the Survivor spin-off season, our second spin-off season, which is going to be the second spin-off season is going to be a Deal or No Deal Island format again. I've decided that I wanted to do it again because season 1 kind of ended very funny, and I mean, as much as I don't want my wallet to be murdered, I feel like we should give the fans what they want and let them.
Also, we have to be like the real life show and cancel after the second one. Woo!
We do.
Rest in peace, Dondi.
Dondi 2, the quest for $5.
That's the legal title. I require it.
Coming to you in however many months, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do other spin-offs after this, we promise.
Yeah.
We'll do more.
All right. For number 3, we have Pius, the season 16 winner and season 20 joint runner-up. We talked. Well, they both have 0 votes, but yes. So yeah, we talked a little about Pius and his game with Inju, but I think Pius did a lot more than Inju that season. First of all, Pius baited an idol play onto Taco to get Luke out, which is how Luke got eliminated over Inju at the final 10. So Pius played really good in season 16. I'd say he was a lot more of like the social, likable person compared to Inju, who was a lot more pretentious at times. Pius had a lot more charming personality, but also that kind of strategical based gameplay. Pius played a really good season 16 run. He had a lot of people vying for him. A lot of the people that he worked with that didn't work with him at Final 11, he worked with them, and he did a good job making it far in season 16, and he was the first ever Survivor winner to never win immunity. He never won immunity, and I think he only got one vote cast against him all season
Yeah.
two.
Damn.
So
I mean,
Pierce.
like that. I think I was the one that first said that that was a big accomplishment. I still think it is. If
It
you
It
is.
is.
if you get to the end with no idols and no immunity, and you win a season, you played. I think it's the most unique winning game of Survivor history. I'll say that. It's not the best, it's the most unique.
I'm
Yeah.
Yeah,
gonna
I
have
agree.
to agree for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
I mean, we did have another winner a couple of seasons later that also didn't win any immunities.
Yeah. But yeah, PS played a really good social game season 16. Season 20 is a bit of the opposite format, whereas season 16, we saw PS not win any immunities, and he played an idol on somebody else. We didn't see much of that anymore. We saw PS win a ton of immunities. He gave
And still
a
played
and still
for
played an
someone.
idol for someone.
They
Well,
just
he played one on himself as well in the pre-merge.
It's
yeah, he
kind
did.
of
Yeah, he
crazy
did.
how some people can go from like being a 0 immunity winner to like 4, like 5 immunity wins. It's wild. I will
He
say
and
that.
Yeah,
Me and Pius
and
just
in
switched
general,
places. We
I
switched
love
places.
the arc that Pierce went through
Yeah.
because to go from like the winner who didn't win immunities, didn't play idols, relied a lot on social strategy or whatever, to go to essentially the comp beast who got himself to the end via immunities. It's a pretty crazy story arc to go through, especially in just one era and
Yeah.
with such a
Yeah.
short time span between seasons.
I
And
mean,
when Pierce started winning these immunities, I think I'm not sure how production reacted to that, but I'm sure that there were some surprises
No, it was
given his
a
previous run.
it was a big moment for sure, especially since like you had Siren on the season, who's a notable comp threat. Yeah, it was just
I,
a very cool moment.
you know what, guys? I traded in my physical game ability for. Yeah, I didn't win a single immunity. Me and Pyatt, we traded. I got the
Yeah.
idols, they got the immunity. I mean, I don't think the
When he
social
gave
game
you
is
the
bad.
idol, did you also exchange Discord accounts? Because I think that was also when Pierce started winning the immunities. So
I know he
were
gave
you
me the
playing?
idols
Were you playing
after
as
winning.
Pierce? Were you playing as Pierce in the last few rounds?
No, I wasn't. I want my
Not
second
gonna
win.
lie,
So
Siren. If you did, that not dog thing was smart.
Not Doug.
that
Pius,
that shit that
Pius,
shit still
And then
pisses me
and then you
off.
switched back for FTC.
that shit
That
is so genius.
that shit.
It is. I laughed so hard at it.
The worst
No,
part about
that is the best immunity performance I've ever
the
seen.
wor- the worst
It
part
was
about this,
so genius.
uh, if they didn't do that, and I don't know, agree, I definitely win the final four immunity. And if they didn't do that, not Doug shit, Siren win.
Yeah.
I lost because of not Doug.
Yes, yes, Pierce. Come on.
Let's go,
Okay.
PS.
I mean, no, this is the insane thing about Pius. Pius, in my opinion, and I think EG is going to disagree when I say this. It's going to be my statement. They should have won season 20. They had it in the palm
Yeah,
of their.
no, I'll agree with you. I'm not going to disagree with you.
If all they had to
Pierce
do,
should have won it.
all they had
He
to
should
do
have
was
just
eliminate.
fucking voted me in 5. That's it.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
vote
That's
5,
it.
and they win.
And then you go out at 4, and it's the most underwhelming final 3 I've ever seen.
No, I don't.
Joanna's in the final 3. Joanna's in the final 3. Come on.
No, I'm gonna be
It's like
real.
the GTA San Andreas meme, where it's like all we had to do was follow the damn train, CJ.
It is because I'll say this, like, it was. I hate this. This is a Survivor stat. Civ can confirm this. If I don't make FTC, the only times I have ever been on jury in Survivor history or the only times that a winner has made FTC that wasn't me, I'm on the fucking jury.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
So
true.
that means you can't make it to the end without me in merge. You're stuck with me. A winner didn't make it to the end of 21. You're
No.
stuck.
The
One
final
should have.
5 were not.
One should
The
have.
final 5 was all non-winners.
Winners at War is gonna end the curse because somebody is. 3 winners are gonna be at the end no matter what.
Yeah, exactly. I
You know
mean,
what
but
would be
no.
funny if we do get a 2-time winner at some point, and immediately after I'm like, "Hey guys, do you want to do winners at war now?" That would be
I would,
funny.
you know, I'll state this.
I want Joe to be the 2-time winner. Honestly, that's gonna cook because he's technically gonna be a 3-time winner.
I don't. If a Survivor 2-time winner happens, and I'm stating this for the record, whoever it's going to be, there are 3 candidates in my mind for who it's going to be. It's either going to be me, because I'm going to run my head into a wall and finally win a Final Four immunity like I should. B, it's going to be like Saturn or someone, like, one of the lesser known winners. Or 3, it's going to be Quinn coming back for the redemption arc or Accio.
I thought when you
Someone's
said
gonna do.
B. I thought when
No,
you
it's
said B at first, you meant B as in the winner.
no, guys, listen, okay? But like, I think Pius is like, Pius is definitely a good player in 20.
If Pierce decides to come back, I think he's in the upper tier of like people that could win twice.
Yeah, like that.
Because
Like,
in a very weird way, even though season 20 Pierce's game is good overall, it's still a very good game.
Yeah.
You know, it's a couple of mistakes away from winning. It's still a very good game, but I feel like it's kind of lowered his reputation in a way
Yeah.
for some reason. Because it's 0 votes, because he had a bad FTC.
I don't even think that.
If Pierce
The
comes back,
stark
he's not
difference
cooked.
between
He is not
16
cooked.
and
People
20, because
will want to work with him.
16 people called it the best FTC they've seen. And then 20, he like fucks it up. It's so crazy.
Yeah, PS was
It's because he was against me.
Yeah.
I
To be fair, I do think in both FTC situations, the speeches were kind of like a formality. Like, I feel like PS was always winning season 16. I feel like EG was always winning season 20. It's just
I do think Pierce could have collected votes, though.
I do agree with that. I do agree with that.
I think the issue with PS in 20, and I do agree with Angie, the reputation is low. I don't think it's because of FTC. I think it's because everybody can see how stupid it is to vote for me at Final 5. Everyone. It is the most obvious do not do. It is to stop. I literally told Pius about my idol. Civ remembers this. I showed them the idol. I was like, I have 2 idols. I'm going to 505 and I'm going to play this. But, apparently I'm supposed to save EG or whatever. I'm saying, what?
You were
That's not
definitely playing the idol for me at Final 5.
Hell no. You can go home. I'm not going home. I
Jesus
want
Christ.
to win.
We were fighting the entire season, and people genuinely thought you were gonna play an idol for me at Final 5. That is insane.
I did. People. think. I was purposely like, you know me. But I mean, but EG.
How did they believe you, man? How did they believe you?
Look, all you have to know is that if I can convince Civ,
This is why he's in the top 10.
if I can convince Civ to make me the hero of season 20, I can convince anyone of anything.
Wait, did you actually convince him? Did you fucking campaign to get it?
Yeah,
No.
what the hell is this?
I didn't campaign. I didn't even know I was in contention. It just happened. But I guess like,
Yeah.
the point is like I can put on an act without realizing it is kind of my point. I'm an actor by accident. I mean, yeah, that's what I'll say about PS. They're a very consistent player. I'll say that. I think both of their games are good. You could. I don't think you could argue them in the top 2 spots for obvious reasons. I think this is as high they could go on this list theoretically because the other two are the best players of Era 3. And honestly, if we made a top 10 list of Survivor players of all time, they would both be on that list, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So,
So we talked all about power duos, Siren and EG, Billy and Moonlight and Jupius. There was one duo that we neglected to mention because, surprise, surprise, that duo is the top 2. So, without further ado, number 2 on this list is myself, Civ.
yay!
Wow.
Wow!
Whoa.
Should have said yours truly.
I am the number 2 player in Survivor Era 3. Made it all the way to season 14, 3-vote losing finalist. And how do I do this? How do I explain my own game to these people?
I think you
Do
have
you guys
to.
want to do?
I think you should talk in the third person. You should say Siv started the game as.
Yeah, you should. Do it.
No, so to bring a
What did
little
you guys
context,
think about Siv's game?
so to bring a little context about it, so a lot of things I wanted to do in season 14, I tried to replicate into most of my org career in general. The main thing I feel like is important for me to do is I cannot let people blindside me, because if they do, I'm like a one trust only type of person. You betray my trust, that's it. That's the first and last time you get to do that. And I did replicate that. When I lost my ally Jojo, I managed to go to swap and just pull all of the allies I could get. I grabbed EG, I grabbed the Allen, voted out well, I didn't vote out Fantasy, but I was gonna vote out Fantasy anyway. Um but yeah, and then come merge, I managed to do some of the craziest stuff you could ever see. I I bluffed my fire making idol play to Alan. I scared the shit out of him into splitting the vote, which made it so that we could pull out one of the craziest plurality votes you'd ever see. So, yeah, that is. So we voted out Franger, Mr. Condom Man. Um, then I voted out.
Bro.
Then I flipped on Corny. Um,
Mr. Snapchat man.
yeah, true.
should
True.
have said.
All right. And then a lot of my like middle merge things that came to fruition, I did have a lot of reads on what was going on in the season. Like I wasn't in all the alliances, but I think I knew where everyone stood overall. Whereas, I knew what Josh was doing even when he was trying to go against me. Like he either was going to tell me like, "Hey, I'm doing this. Sorry about it," or he just made it so obvious that he was not doing the thing he said he was going to do that I just did something else entirely. So, I mean, I did come out loser in the final 5, but I feel like the means are more important than the ends, I think. And the fact that Josh should not have told me about that fucking idol. He straight up, he should not have.
I mean,
But
as
what are
the
your
main
guys' thoughts on what's your guys' thoughts on Civ's game in season 14?
as the main
Okay,
person here.
I'll start.
Should we
Wait.
be mean about it? Can we be mean?
Civ's game in season 14 is truly deserving of the runner-up spot.
Wow.
In the top 10 all-time players for Era 3. He should have won the season. That's what I was going to say. Civ is basically, and I'm not saying it just because he's here, but I've played with Civ 4 times now.
Yeah, that's 4 times.
Three that count. Indie doesn't count.
Indie doesn't
We were never on the same tribe. But Civ is basically built in a lab to play orcs. That's how I see it. Like, his reads and just the way he thinks about the game is just insane. And that's why I always gravitate towards him. Like, there's never been an org where I haven't instantly been like, I want to work with Civ. Because, he's really good at, bouncing ideas off of him and just coming up with some truly amazing plans. Like, the whole thing with the Ranger boot is just ridiculous. The fact that we were able to pull it off. And coming into the game as the creator of the org, like, you're not going to have a bigger target than that.
No.
And yeah, I mean, I'm shocked that he made it past the first tribal, let alone made it to the final 2. And the few rounds where Civ doesn't have, doesn't happen what Civ wants, Final 5, for example. I mean, Final 5 is my fault. It's not Civ's fault.
Yeah.
And I think, we've talked about this with a few people, including the ones that are here. And if Civ won the season, he would have been the number 1.
Yeah.
The only reason why Civ is not number 1 on this list is because
He didn't win.
it just feels more right to have a winner at the number 1 spot.
Yeah.
But when we talk about best individual player of Era 3, you probably have Civ at number 1.
Yeah.
And some of those jury votes were fucking ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah.
the reason Civ loses the season is so bullshit. And that's no disrespect to Josh, because Josh plays a good game as well. He's a good winner. He's a deserving winner. And, with Dondi as well, getting that second win in quotations, he's a part of history. But I think even Josh is going to say that Civ deserved the win on that season. So, yeah, Civ just... I mean, it's a good thing that he played well, because he would have been ridiculed to hell and back if he came into his own org and played like shit.
Yeah.
No, you would not be hearing about it until the end of time, basically.
No.
If you were a flop.
So, speaking of previous org experiences with Civ, I played one org with Civ, and we voted him out at the first tribal we went to together. So I don't know. Yeah, I voted you off. Sorry.
God damn it.
Yeah, and you got like 20th or something shit like that. It was like an all-star season. So I don't know if I could like vouch for that trust thing, like that blind, like you don't want to blindside Civ or he'll get back at you. He'll vow for revenge, because yeah, we just got him out straight away. But like seeing Civ play his own season, like I prodded him, and it was like so. I thought it was gonna be like a funny twist. Like I get to finally torment this guy who's like put me through all this stuff that I've been through for like 5 seasons at that, like at the time of season 14. So yeah, I thought it was going to be a really fun experience. It was so cool to see like Civ get along with like his little Mabu guys, like Josh and Jojo and Zoe. And then he after that JoJo boot within pre-merge, I feel like when you get like a pre-merge boot, you try to like scramble for like allies. Like when one of your allies is like a pre-merge boot, you will try to get like new connections. And that's exactly what he did with like EG. And they eventually became a duo, like a really, really strong duo within the game. And then they did some really insane like shit. Cause like they didn't really I don't think Civ really went to tribal in free merge aside from the Joder one. The fantasy thing didn't count. They did some insane shit at
I would actually count the fantasy tribal just because, like, we know that Civ was never gonna go, regardless of what happened. Like, we know that Civ would have been safe. There probably wouldn't have been an impact on his game if that tribal had gone through. Fantasy would have just gone anyway. So,
I mean,
and we still got the shield, which was another insane idea that me and Civ came up with.
The shop was
I feel like
an insane. I think the shop was an insane twist. Like everyone was trying to like grab stuff whenever they could.
The one thing I
whenever they had the
regret about
currency.
that season is, with Civ, is getting that fire making idol. We shouldn't have done it. The fire making idol was just a waste of 50k. We could have got another 2 shields.
I never used it. I just bullshit that I had it. Like, there was no way to prove I had it or not.
Yeah. Ranger Boot was crazy. He had a crazy vote count. Like we were like Fraud was going nuts about it. And like what was it, Alan the Ass Alliance, whatever it's called, got the upper hand.
The Alan Sucks Society.
Yeah, that one. Okay, so Ass got the upper hand, and then they got corny out, easy pickings, and then
to Ass.
Frog reboot happened with like the Tyver and shit, and then Civ was very down in the dumps when EG went, but he powered through with 2 clutch immunity wins. And Josh could have gone at Final Four, but like apparently, according to the jury, I don't think Civ was winning anything because like they loved Shane, they loved Josh, but like Civ had the better game. But Final Tribal Council was funny. He lost to a lip sync of all things, and even Josh admitted his faults, and Siren and I were like screaming at his Final Tribal Council speech. So, but it was crazy how some of the votes were like justified, I suppose. It was very close.
I'll be real.
Civivor.
I don't, as what is the other main prod here for 14. I'm never gonna say that Josh was a bad winner. I still think they're a good winner to this day. To put this in perspective, there are only 2 players, because I don't even think 13 got an S- or above, that got an S- or above in Era 3 of Survivor, which was Civ and Preston. So Civ losing that FTC to Joshua, it was mainly the reasons, by the way. I don't think Civ made any mistake that deserved to lose the votes that they lost.
Yeah, Josh had a lot of flaws in his game.
It's confusing. If Civ won season 14, I would honestly put Civ as number 1 in this list. But he didn't. It feels kind of weird to be like, you're the best player, but in your one performance, you don't win, you lose, and it's a close loss, by the way. It's not, honestly, Civ should have won that, but
Yeah, it was very close.
And I wouldn't be shocked if people said no, Civ is 1 on this. The person that's 1 shouldn't be 1. Honestly, in my head canon, I put them both at 1 and just move on. There's no second place. It goes third and first. That's the head canon of the day. But Civ had the biggest target of the season, made it to the end, with no difficulties and lost for reasons I can't explain. Yeah. That's season 14.
Civ, have you practiced your lip sync since then?
You know what?
It might be crucial, you know.
Yes, so long as it's not a Beyonce song, I will lip sync it.
Uh,
All right. So now we got our final.
guys, I'm gonna have to head off.
He's
No way.
No, I'm kidding.
All right. So our number one of the era 3, the best player is EG. The
Egg.
egg.
Aggie.
He
Little
managed
Egg. That's his rap name.
little egg.
Call me in front of her.
Why did I forget to mention this in the season 20 podcast? That was the most fun I had all season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
The
EG
chat GPT Sarah rap. That was crazy.
Yeah, so EG managed to make it season 14 and managed to go all the way to 5th place before getting idled out by Josh. Now, EG was a very big social threat in season 14. A lot of people were vying for him to win. I mean, aside from Alan and by extension Franger, obviously. But aside from those two, I think a lot of people would have been
Makes sense.
willing to put EG's name on their winner chart. And EG kind of replicated that gameplay in season 21. He got a new duo in season 20.
Basically, exactly replicated it.
Yeah, he got a new duo in season 20, and he managed to make it all the way once again. And this time he managed to finally win it because none of his opposition had any idols because he befriended the guy who had all the idols. So in this case,
That's a strong word. Best friends.
I don't think he frenemies. Acquaintances. No, he's my friend. He's
We were
a
like,
really good friend.
Dwight and Jim from The Office. If anyone knows.
yeah. So those two.
I harp. I mess with EG a bit, but I truly do respect EG. The one thing I'll say about EG's game in 20, and this is by no means offense to EG in 20, part of it is so good, and yes, I do kind of say this to the cast that they need to get better at their strategical reads. Season is one of the most unbalanced cast when it comes to vet versus Reach.
Oh, it is. It is.
It is a
But that's what makes
massive.
it so charming. It's like a shit post season where all the alumni just dominate.
If season 20 was a real life edit, I honestly if it was if Survivor was a real life show, season 20, I genuinely think me and EG would have 50% of the screen time.
It would have been fucking. Yeah, actually, I'm not gonna spoil that. It would have been like a season Siren hasn't seen.
Yeah.
From Australian Survivor.
Just
I think I know what you're talking about.
The good one.
The one EG has two qualities that are in both of their seasons. They're invisible to the point that you won't deal with them immediately, but they're visible to the point that if they make it to FTC, as long as the big player of the season is out, you'll give them the win. And two, they just really get along with people well. I don't think anyone in season 20 disliked EG in the slightest.
Yeah.
Why would you?
Yeah.
Yeah, why would you? It's not like they leak one of your main allies' idol in front of you, or vote out their duos under duo.
No, the closer I work with someone, the more they dislike me. It seems.
I had 3 duos.
Yeah, it's not like
in season-
me.
I had 2 other duos in season 20, and EG is the reason that got a. I hope you're proud of yourself. You ruined everything. No, you ruined no. I mean, it's the truth. I mean, EG is such a good player, though. I mean, he's the first. EG's the first unanimous winner of Survivor for a reason, and the only one. And they didn't win immunity either. So technically, they're the most unique winner of Survivor history now. The Greek god.
The Greek god.
Can't wait for America versus the world, where EG's the first boot of their turn. Like, because people are
I'm
just like,
not
well,
playing that. But
You
I'm
are
not
now.
playing
No,
that
he's
though.
gonna be good.
I'm not
He's gonna
playing
be first
that.
boot twice.
No, you know what's gonna be crazy? If it goes to like if we ever do winners at war, I'm gonna do 3 tribes of 7, and then Quinn, aka Kirby, tries to become the God Slayer.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna strike first.
You know, it would be no.
If you
Okay.
Queen, if you are watching, I am gonna strike first.
You know, there is a winner at War Tribe that would genuinely make me cry, but it is such a possibility where you put me on a tribe with EG and Quinn and they start fighting. Because I'm just like, my duos! No!
Again.
Keep
They
doing
can't stop fighting each other.
it, please. I need to
No, but
get my second into 15 seasons.
look, if that tribe happens, I think day one you're just gonna have to decide like one person. One person
No,
your ally, the other one is the first boot. You're not having any of this.
no, I'm putting you in a 3-player chat and I'm get along idling both of you out.
And then they all wish you happy birthday.
No, I mean,
No, we're naming it the Siren Alliance again.
I swear, I've had 2 Siren Alliances in seasons that have the number 2 in. Therefore, I have to play a season in the 20s and get another Siren Alliance that isn't season 20. We're gonna do it. No, I mean,
But in all seriousness, though, like I'm so proud of the fact that I'm on this list and I'm number 1, just based on the fact that in season 7, when I came in and I quit, I really felt like I let the community down in a way, and I let Civ down, especially because I know
The
how
community-
excited he was. I know how excited he was to see me play
Yeah.
and actually join the community. And I felt so bad about what happened. You know, I took many months away from Discord, had no contact with Civ, and Survivor just felt like until season 14, it was the black chapter of my org career in a way. So coming back, doing season 14 was mostly a positive experience. There was a couple of issues with it.
Yeah.
But it was a nice experience, and getting to play with Civ, running it back, and making it far, and actually getting a reputation that's more positive within the community. And then season 20, just everything clicked. You know, it really felt like I put everything I've learned, you know, not just from Survivor, but from other orgs as well, from my life as well, you know, getting more mature, getting more social, which applies IRL, it applies in the game as well, being able to get along with people, as Siren said, and, you know, improving my strategic reads, striking at Conan before he struck at me, for example. and just fully cementing that I'm the Greek god and everything clicking and getting that win. I needed a lot of luck, and I needed to pick the right allies. I feel like my best move in both seasons is just picking the right number one. As weird as that sounds, like I wouldn't have made it far in season 14 without Civ, and I wouldn't have made it far in season 20 without Siren. So thank you guys.
Yeah, man.
I can't
And yeah,
wait.
it's crazy. It's crazy that I'm sitting here,
Yeah.
and I hope
Yeah.
that people don't take this list too serious, because when I come back, I'm gonna be the first boot based on a reputation basis,
Again,
and it's gonna suck.
are we gonna have you ever had a 2-time first boot?
Yes.
Have we?
No. No, we
Wait,
haven't.
I
Oh,
need to check.
I want to make history. Vote me out.
No,
I need to check.
Vote me
If
out next season
if we
if you're
do, it's
I
watching
don't
like
this.
think.
very early.
Wait, I'm
Yeah, I
gonna
don't.
be the first two-time first boot and the first two-time winner.
I don't think I commented on EG's game. I didn't think too much of you because obviously this has been memed a lot lately, but like you were the season 7 first boot, so I didn't think of you too much in 14 at first.
You
'Cause I
were
had you
probably
at
like, why is that fucking guy coming back?
I mean, I think it was. I mean, it was a bit sudden. I think I had you at like we did host predictions, right?
Yeah.
And I think I had you at like 12th place. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Which isn't the
Martel was
first
more
boot,
likely
but
than me
like
to go far
there
that
were
season.
people. I think there were people that were obviously like bigger outliers, and I was like, yeah, they're probably more cooked. But yeah, it was fun seeing you again. It was fun with you rejecting Alan's and like being not the backup of Alan's showman's idea, and rejecting that, and then you getting along with Civ at the swap.
What was I supposed to do? Say yes?
Oh man, I don't know what to. I don't know about Alan's certainly a person, but yeah, I think I want to say that the fights were fun, but like seeing how it turned out, I mean, it was more Alan's fault than it was yours, but like it was kind of horrible. But yeah, you were fun to see. I think you kind of like proved to like the community of Survivor that you weren't like a nobody, you weren't like a first boot guy. Like you proved yourself beyond that, and you've got like I think you got pot. Didn't you get like Potts runner up or something? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got pots runner up, and Civ got pots, I think.
Yeah, fifth
And I
place is
also got
pretty
Angie's
sick.
host favorite.
Your DBs, I gave mine to Shane.
Yeah.
Oh.
Eh.
I just have to comment on one thing. Can't wait for the. I
But
can't wait
yeah.
for everyone to spam in the comments that we put a metagamer as our top rate.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, but like, yeah, EG was fun. It was good to see him again. I think he just really proved himself. And I loved the duoship with you and Civ. Like, it really proved that you guys really are like best friends within the community. And then
Yeah.
season 20, it was fun. I was like, yes, we're getting EG back. I'm prodding EG again. So I was like very excited for that. And to see you put on the tribe with Siren, because like, especially after the podcast stuff with Australia versus the world, that was like pretty wild. I didn't think that you guys were going to be a duo, but eventually you were. And even despite the stuff like the Conan boot, all that, which led to that fight. That was so funny to hear, by the way. And yeah, we kind of thought you were going to be merge boot. I don't know what's with you and getting into tie votes over time. I think that's a pretty big trend with you. Like you got
I
into
survived
it in
MOBA.
the like
Except the one I didn't, but yeah.
you got into one with like at the Froggo boot. You got into one with the Gibraltar boot. You got in one at the
My boot.
James boot. Yeah. You got in one of your boots. But yeah, using Siren as that shield was like pretty smart. I think it was a fun duo to see. Yeah, you really deserve that win, that 8-0 victory. You like, and
Yeah,
given
and
that you're number 1 on this era 3 top 10 lists, you deserve another Greek god cake.
True.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was really fun in season 20 to like do all the Greek god stuff. Oh, obviously, that's not who I am, like
The
outside of
Sarah
this,
stuff was
but
fun.
yeah, but like the Greek god stuff as well, the drunk EG stuff. Like I
Yes,
really
I
leaned
love
in
Drunk
season
EG.
20
I always
into the more
asked him to rap.
into the more fun side of myself and being a character as well, because at the end of the day, that's what people are going to remember. I think I treat Survivor as if it's actual Survivor more often than
Yeah.
anybody. So I try to keep things entertaining. Is that a dog in the background?
Yeah, they're outside. My window's
That's a
open.
loud bark. Anyway, so yeah, it was really fun, especially season 20. I think season 20 overall was the most fun I've had in an org, and it would be a perfect way to close the chapter. Let's say of Era 3 EG,
Yeah.
and we'll see what happens.
I feel like everyone says that about like the biggest Survivor season, that is the most fun they've had in an org, unless it's like a really bad Survivor season. I don't know.
Yeah, but like season 14, I also got far and it wasn't
Yeah.
fun. So, and
I mean,
and
look,
my other org win was not a fun season.
21 was okay for me, but I loved 9, so there's that. I actually loved 6 more than I loved 21, which is crazy. So yeah.
Well, congrats to EG on being the best player of Era 3.
Yay, egg!
Yay, egg. Do we have anything you want to say about EG before we close it out? All right. Well, we still got one more podcast roll out. Hopefully, we're able to do that before New Year's. Also, another thing, as well as the spinoff, I'm also working on the 2025 awards voting. Hopefully, that'll be up by at least by the time this video rolls around. So, go vote for your favorite players for your favorite awards. And yeah, with that, we'll see you guys next time.
Vote